Not again.
We need a logo to superimpose.
We can put it on my shiny forehead.
All right. Welcome, everyone. This is episode 30.
Oh my God. You think people would have better things to do with their time?
No, we're out of our 20s. We're aging gracefully. This episode is about our top 5 sports memorabilia items that we own. I think there's going to be some pretty unique items tonight. And we do have a lot of calls, so this is good. If you have an item that you want to talk about, hit the microphone at the bottom of the screen and send us a comment. We are the highlights from Lowlifes. Tonight we've got Jeff Jones, Rob Lannerman, Marty Brown.
Who, me?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm Rob Weber. We are a group of friends that play baseball together. And during the pandemic, we met up on Zoom calls for our mental health. Those evolved into world-solving initiatives.
And a lot of beer.
We did have a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Those evolved into top 5 sessions. And the folks that mic'd up invited us to do a show after we begged. So here we are.
Hey, did that check ever clear?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, those checks keep coming in. We are on every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we hope you'll join us. You can watch all of our archive shows on YouTube. Just look for highlights from Lowlifes. All right, let's get going on tonight's topic. Marty.
Yeah.
Number 5 favorite sports memorabilia item.
We're going to have you go first before you fall asleep.
Yeah, again, number 5, but this should be right there at the top. How many people have a autographed Robert Manfred on a beer coaster? Wow. Not many people could say, I have a beer on my Robert Manfred. Everyone will be beer.
Wow.
So is that
an almanac beer is going to go onto the glass with my Robert Manfred beer. I believe.
Wow.
Wow. Isn't he the first commissioner in the history of baseball that really doesn't like baseball?
Correct.
And that's just on the short list.
Yeah.
Wow, that is a unique item.
Well, thank you very much. And the only thing it does is hold my beer. So thank you all, man. Jeff, what's your number 5?
All right. Do you remember back in the days? And when back in the days, it's Marty's college years, but
starts early, doesn't it? Starting early.
In the early to mid 80s, you actually got to go to the airport, and if you didn't have a ticket, you could walk all the way to the gates. If you were picking up or dropping off, you could go all the way to the gates and wait for or wait with those you were accompanying. In the very early 80s, I believe, I don't remember the exact year, I was with my sister and her family were visiting, so we took them to the airport. They were getting ready to get on the plane, and we were all sitting in the terminal. And all these people walk in. And I turn around and I said, I was a kid, so I didn't say it. That's the Boston Celtics. They were on the same plane. They were waiting for the same plane. My sister pulled out of her, she only had a little notepad in her purse and a pen, and I got autographs from 4 players and the coach. Robert
Excellent.
Parrish, Larry Bird, Dennis Johnson, Kevin McHale, and Casey Jones.
Wow, that's
Fantastic.
Pretty much, yeah, the starting lineup.
Yeah, the only one who wasn't there was Danny Ainge. I couldn't find Danny Ainge to put that on there.
He was probably at Temple.
So
That's
that
a
is
reference to his religious preference, folks. Just so you know, not the university.
That temple.
no.
Oh,
I
that
thought
temple.
I thought he was just going like this. But that is my number 5 memorabilia, the Boston Celtics.
excellent.
Very nice.
And I forgot to mention at the beginning that to Robbie's joy, none of my memorabilia will be Star Wars. Crowd goes wild.
Yeah, or we just lost half our viewer base. Whatever.
Yeah.
If we lose that half, I'm okay with it. And hey, we got a comment for you, Jonesy, already.
Oh.
Oops.
Okay, Jonesy, that's Rob's favorite team, and that was his favorite year of the team. So if you can, will that to Rob. He will take great care of it, I promise.
So apparently you're going before I am.
That could be arranged.
No, I am not. I'm actually going to sell that on Macari. Look for my account, and that's going to hopefully pay for the next round of beers in our next baseball trip.
Perfect. I endorse that approach wholeheartedly.
All right, Robbie, take it away.
All right. So back in the days of the giveaway at the ballpark, remember they used to have Bat Day, which I think they finally realized in the Bronx that was probably a really bad idea. And Oakland and Detroit and pretty much anywhere else, giving a bunch of people lumber. But I was really excited back in 1969. It was one of my favorite baseball days ever because I was getting to see Roberto Clemente. And how cool was Roberto Clemente and, Rob and Roberto in Spanish? It was like he was a hero for me and the whole thing. But it was Rain Jacket Giveaway Day.
Woo! Rain jacket?
Wow.
So here we are in 1969.
Wow.
I have, and so the funny thing is this is like a May game against the Pirates, and it's Rain Jacket Giveaway Day. So
and it was needed a month later.
The next day, it wasn't even needed until like the fall, and I'd outgrown it. But I wore this to school for the next 3 days, even though it was well over 80 degrees. This thing is really heavy duty, just plastic. It's got a couple of vent holes that don't actually vent to anywhere. But there's the hood, the whole thing. I wore this to school. I love my Giants rain jacket. So
very nice
to see Roberto Clemente, get to see the Giants and get a rain jacket.
Wow.
Very good. Very good.
So that leaves it to you, sir.
All right. Well,
oh, wait. Sorry. That leaves it to you, Rob.
I mentioned this on the last show that we did, which was famous couples or duos in sports. I went to spring training out in Florida in 1995. Plant City, Florida, middle of March. I got my t-shirt, shorts on. I'm ready for the game. Game time temperature, 28 degrees. It was.
You should have had a Giants rain jacket.
They were gonna play that game regardless. And I needed desperately to find something, a jacket, a sweatshirt, or something. So I ran into the gift shop and found a Reds playoff sweatshirt from the previous year. And I grabbed it because everybody else had the same plan as I did. And I was struggling to get this thing on. And this woman comes over and starts to help me put my sweatshirt on. And I look up and it's it's Nancy Lopez, the golfer.
Oh, you're kidding. Oh,
And I go, what is she doing here? And I said, well, why are you at a baseball game? And she says, my husband is the manager of the Reds. She was married to Ray Knight, the Reds manager. So I had her sign my scorecard. So I've got a Nancy Lopez signed Cincinnati Reds scorecard from a spring training game in Plant City, Florida. I've been to many games at Candlestick, but this was easily the coldest game I've ever been to. It was awful. So that's my number 5 there. All right,
Nice.
Jeff. Let's start you with round 4.
Round 4. All right. About 10 years or so ago, my wife gets us tickets for Father's Day to go to a River Cats game. River Cats is Sacramento. They're the AAA Giants affiliate. It was actually Saturday because we had a baseball game on Sunday, so we went on Saturday, the day before Father's Day. We go to the game. We get our seats. Max is really young at that point, and he's full of energy. And we luckily got in there. We were behind first base, behind the visitors' dugout, about 10, 15 rows. And there's a couple sitting behind us who are in the gear of the opposing team. We start chatting them up, having a good time, ask them, you came all the way out here to root on your team. He goes, they said, well, when your son plays for the team, you become their fan. So interesting. Who's your son? And they tell me, and I go, cool. And he goes, he's actually pitching tomorrow. He's a starting pitcher. He's pitching tomorrow. Right now, he's behind home plate in street clothes, and he's charting pitches and radar gun and things like that for them. Oh, that's really cool. So we go through the game. And something happens to me that's never happened before, ever in my lifetime. Foul ball.
foul. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
I am the anti-magnet. I have never got anywhere near a foul ball in my entire life until this game. Big pop fly, way up, straight into my hands. Catch it clean. So I hand it to Max, and Max goes, I don't know what to do with this, and hands it back to me. So we get to about the 8th inning of the game, and all the starting pitchers are long gone. Most of the starters are out. Their son comes over and visits with them and says hi, and they introduce him. And I said, what the heck? Would you sign this baseball? Sure, why not? That turned out to be this ball right here. That is Chicago Cubs pitcher Kyle Hendricks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Soon to be at that point a World Series winner in was it 2006 that they won?
Yep.
2016 that they won?
16.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got to meet his parents and him while he was still in AAA and got his autograph.
Excellent.
It was a fun day, cool story. I liked
Yeah,
it.
no
Yeah.
kidding. Well done.
Over to Marty.
All right, hold on 1 second. I got to take Hosmer down in the background because it's
Hosmer, the recently retired Hosmer.
I thought we were going to say something like, I like seeing him walk away.
all right. So all right. Did you guys? You laughing at me? Are they laughing at me?
Just keep going. You don't want to know. Just
all right,
keep going.
All right. So number 4 is the jersey behind you is the Mike Croco jersey. Now, this is a couple of things about this jersey. It was I purchased back in 1982 when you guys were just maybe not even born yet. But remember the old KQED auctions?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this jersey was up on the KQED auction, and I happened to win it that night. I was just 5 years old, so it was amazing what they'll let you do when you're 5 years old on KQED. But and all.
I'll take that for 500, please.
but it's still one of my prized possessions. The only thing is that it's not autographed, and it should be autographed. So anybody out there that has any connections with the Giants, and I know that Kruko lives here in Reno on the off season. So I just, for the record, that anybody wants to pick up the ball, I'll meet Kruko at anywhere, anytime in Reno to have him sign my jersey, and I'll even pick up the tab as long as it's under $20. So that is my number. So that is my number 4 piece of memorabilia, the 1982 Mike Kruko Giants jersey.
Nice.
This
Yeah,
came in for you, Marty.
My hand is up.
Even the listening audience is calling you on that one. So for those of you that don't know, if you see us put our hand up for no particular reason, we play a game called I'll Take Things That Sound Dirty But Aren't for 300, Alex. And we just stopped verbalizing it. Now we just raise our hand.
So let me raise this. No, wait. No. Webby, help me out, will you please?
All right. Most of my relatives are from the Cleveland, Ohio area.
I'm sorry.
I know.
Yes.
I didn't have to spend a lot of time in Cleveland. Is that a cheer or a boo? I can't tell.
It's like a mixed reaction.
Oh, okay. I know Cleveland rocks because of the Hall of Fame and everything, but I used to get a lot of gifts that were Cleveland sports related, even though I was growing up in Chicago and in the San Jose area. And one year I got a book in the mail about Lou the Toe Groza. Okay. Lou was the place kicker for the Cleveland Browns for years. He also played some offensive line and defensive line from time to time. But he was this big hulking guy who kicked straight on, just like Tom Dempsey did back in the day, the traditional place kicker. And he was famous. He did really well, and they called him the Toe.
That's right.
So I got a book about him, and inside the front cover, it was autographed and signed to me. So Lou wrote, I never met him, but I still have a book that is autographed to Robbie Weber. I was still young enough to be called Robbie then. If you're called Robbie now, it's just really immature.
Yeah. An adult male called Robbie. God, who would do that?
What? It's immature.
This bunch is going to tell me about maturity.
So I still have that book, and I'm sure it's worth something. You might find it on Mercari one of these days.
We're gonna have to get a Mercari sponsorship here soon.
All right. Let's see who still needs to.
I think it's
give the
me.
number 4 pick, Robbie.
Yep. All right. So mine I just got for Christmas this year. As a Giants fan growing up, my favorite Giant, for whatever reason, actually it's because he used to swing hard. There was never a check swing. He either swung or he did not swing. There was no middle ground. He was a superstar at a time when the Giants didn't even have like a average players, much less superstars on their team. And I have worn number 22 in every baseball and whatever league I've ever played in, softball, whatever. I've always worn basketball league. I always wear 22 because of this guy, and that's Jack Clark, Jack the Ripper. And for Christmas this year, my daughter got me a signed bat from Jack Clark.
Nice.
It has a great sentiment on it, if you can see it. The Dodgers. So this is a very important bat and a very touching, memorable piece of my memorabilia collection now.
Perfect.
I remember he could hit the ball really, really hard.
Yeah.
And it made a different sound than other players.
Absolutely. And I think that's the way he swung that bat, man. He all come out of your shoes.
Hmm
Yeah.
I mean, being at those Giants games at Candlestick, with 6 or 7,000 people, the echoes really traveled.
But you had your own beer vendor, which is really nice.
And I'm going to go off on a quick tangent here, but he used to rave about, the park was too cold and the locker rooms were tiny and cramped. Everything that was really true about the team, but he took heat for it, even though we were all saying it sitting around at the ballpark and everything else. He was saying exactly what everyone else was saying, but he took some heat as a Giant for it, and that was ridiculous in my mind.
Yep.
The guy wanted to win, so.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Cool. We have reached the end of round 4, correct?
Correct.
Yes.
Well, what time is it?
Well, it's time for a segment we like to call What You Drinking? As always, we are sponsored by our friends over at Almanac Brewing, Alameda, California, one of America's premier craft brew producers. They don't watch the show or they're drunker than we are when they do watch it, and they keep going, yeah, we'll give you more beer when you need it. Let us know. So here we are with Almanac. The good thing is their beers are outstanding. They're best known for their Love Hazy IPA. We all try to drink different things so we can talk about them, and it's certainly my favorite segment of the show. I am still enjoying the Porch Light Lager because, like a moth to a light, I'm drawn to this beer.
You make fun of me.
Oh, sure, Mister Tried and True.
What? What was that? What'd you say? Huh? I can't quite hear you. What?
Tried and True.
Tried and true Kolsch, as always. Can't pass up a winner.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. On what?
I'm just gonna pass it on to Marty now.
All right. Well, it's that time of the year where the employer starts sending you those documents, and you realize how much money you owe to the IRS, and you're trying to put it off, and so you're depressed. So what do? You try to feel better. So what do you go back to the basic? You go back to the feel good beer, the one and only true Kolsch. Now, like I said before, it's not an artificial Kolsch. This is a true Kolsch. and they've gone back and done research in Germany where Kolsch was, and true Kolsch means, damn, this is good stuff. So once again, thank you, Tetlow and JC, for introducing me to this. My life will never be the same. You son of a. Thank you. Let's just leave it at that.
Could you send me the link to the research you just called
out? Could you send me the spelling of the way you say artificial?
Hey, Jonesy, just tell them to keep those true coming to you.
There you go.
All right, I am so proud and happy to announce I'm drinking a new type of Sour Nova.
Oh!
Yes, Almanac barrel-aged strawberry Sour Nova. I have just been delivered an entire case. That should take me through June or July.
2025.
Mm-hmm. It's right up there with the other sours. And as I told you, my local liquor store has the entire line of Sour Novas that Almanac puts out. And it's quite impressive. So I think this is the third one that we've tried, right, Robbie?
I believe so, yes.
So of the three, this is the best thus far, the strawberry. Give it a try. All right. What's next?
Well, once again, thanks to Almanac. If you're in the Alameda, California area, stop by, visit the brewery. Great place, a lot of fun. There's a cool malting place next door, too, where they get their malts from. But otherwise, just stop by, tell them you saw them on the highlights from Lowlifes show. They will take pity upon you.
All right, we are off to round 3 in top 5 sports memorabilia items that you own. Robbie, you ended that round.
Yeah.
Who's up?
How about you?
All right. A lot of us met longtime Giants trainer Barney Nugent at fantasy camp when we've gone to the Giants fantasy camp in the past. Barney has since passed away. Um, and when he passed away, his collection of baseball memorabilia went in different directions. But I ended up with a very unique item. It's a set of 5 batting helmets from the 1950s era.
Wow.
Batting helmets?
Batting
Yeah.
helmets.
Okay. Wow.
These do not have ear flaps.
Mhm.
If you look at the old baseball cards, these helmets are without ear flaps. They're made from a hardened epoxy, which wouldn't pass for a batting helmet these days. And the outside of the helmet has a fuzzy material on it. It's like a spray on fuzzy material so that the helmet would look something like a baseball cap.
Huh.
So I've got a collection of 5 of these: the Phillies, Pirates, Cubs, Yankees, and Brooklyn Dodgers.
Wow.
Wow.
Great display item. These particular helmets were never used. You can get yourself a replica from Mitchell and Ness, but very cool item. Gives you an idea of what it was like to play in the 50s. Not much protection.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
you have those on display. They're quite impressive.
Yeah.
Very cool.
yeah. So I
All right.
guess those aren't going on Macari soon.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Okay.
those are not. All right, Jeff, what do you got?
So to add on to yours, I think you should take the Yankees one, and I'm not going to disparage the Yankees here, even though we do that a lot. But there's a real classic photo of Mantle going into the dugout and throwing his helmet towards when they used to line the bats on the ground in front of the dugout. And there must have been a ball boy there or something. There's a real classic photo of him throwing the helmet that way. I think that would go nice with that Yankees helmet. All right. So my number 3. So we've talked a lot on this show about our baseball trips. The 4 of us and Tiger, Terry Lee, and our good buddy Big Juicy have gone on a couple of baseball trips before. The first one, nice. The first one we went to was the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York. And anybody who's been there knows that one of the great things about Cooperstown, New York is all the stores. Well, we spent a great deal of time in a bunch of those stores, including one that had a ton of memorabilia. And we could have picked out all different kinds of things. I'm still kicking my own, you know what, for not picking up one thing, and I'll talk about that later. But one of the things I did pick up, I just happened to see it stuck to the wall in a sleeve, and it was a patch, a sew-on patch. And it's the 2006 induction patch. And there's a whole lot of writing on that. And if you
Yeah,
can't
that's all
see,
it-
2006 was the year that, along with Bruce Sutter, who was inducted in the normal voting process, they voted in with the new committee that was looking at all the Negro Leagues. They voted in a ton of Negro League players and owners and things like that. So there's a ton of these names, and these names are Ray Brown, Willard Brown, Andy Cooper, Frank Grant, Pete Hill, Biz Mackey, Effa Manley, Jose Mendez, Alex Pompez, Cumberland Posey, Louis Santop, Mule Suttles, Ben Taylor, Cristobal Torriente, Sol White, J.A. Wilkinson, and Judd Wilson. With all those names on this patch, along with Bruce Sutter, I couldn't pass it up. It was just too nice of a piece of memorabilia, so I had to pick it up.
So there was a guy named Posey before Buster?
Yes. And we will not discuss the joke about what his nickname was. His full name was Cumberland.
Cumberland.
You can guess. But yeah, we were walking through that store for a long time. They had a hat on the wall that I wish I would have picked up. That was a hat that was autographed by Double Duty Radcliffe. I still wish I would have bought that.
Yeah.
But just when we were looking at all this stuff, and just when we were getting ready to leave, there was kind of one room and another room, and there was these posts divided the room, and this just happened to be on the post, and I just barely caught it out of the corner of my eye and went, "Oh yeah, I have to.
I didn't even know you got that. That's a great pickup.
Yeah, I couldn't pass that up.
Yeah.
Robbie?
All right. So my number 3, I started the first year I went to fantasy camp. Then I went to a Giants fantasy camp. I took a bat with me and started getting guys to sign it. Since then, I've played in a bunch of golf tournaments, been to a bunch of social events and things like that. And anytime I go where there's going to be Giants players, I always bring this bat, which is now just loaded
Nice.
with signatures. Yeah, I love it. And the thing that pissed me off, Johnny Lemaster took up like this huge section. right near the sweet spot, which he's not familiar with. But so over time, I've got Orlando Cepeda and Gaylord Perry and Juan Marichal, Mays and McCovey are on here. I have Hall of Famers all the way down to F.P. Santangelo, and Dave Haverlow, who wrote a little thing that says "Hit it here." So and everybody in between. So anybody that's played for a former Giant or played with the Giants, and they're around, I get this thing signed whenever I can. So I really enjoy this bat.
Nice.
A lot. Yep.
I wish I would have had the forethought to do something like that. I never had, I got individual autographs, but I never had the forethought to do something cumulative like that.
Yeah. I to be honest, I I took it with me because I wanted to have a wood bat just in case I got a chance to hit with a wood bat, not realizing there would be 7,000 wood bats available at any given time. So it became the autograph bat.
Nice.
Marty.
Yeah. Here.
Good morning.
Oh, sorry.
Will you go dust the erasers for me?
Okay. Talking about our baseball experiences and again, one of the great things is every year we get to go on tournaments, and San Diego and Lodi, Monterey. There was tournaments in all over the place. The ones I've experienced though was Lake Tahoe. And there's a gentleman that is still around, and he's a legend with us. His name is Pete Lopez. He's an umpire, and he runs a tournament in San Diego. And I remember, I believe it was the first one he did a few years ago, and went down to San Diego, and there was the Giants team, and it was a Padres team, and a few other things, and it was early February. But it was San Diego. It was just a beautiful weather, and had a great time and had a blast. And then, sure enough, Pete Lopez blew me away, saying we were going to do a giveaway for everybody, but it didn't arrive in time. And sure enough, it comes in the mail, and I have it here. It is a autographed signed baseball from Tony Gwynn.
Nice.
No kidding. Nicely done. Oof.
And I immediately just put it in a case, and and it just out of the blue, Pete Lopez and his gives you an autographed baseball from Tony Gwynn. So a prized possession. So
Nice.
thank you, Pete. And it always he does it every year. Great tournament. And now what they bring now they is just for fun, they bring a St. Louis team in that kind of beats up on everybody, but they bring literally a pallet of Budweiser. So you gotta take it. Okay, they beat us up,
So
but they give us
it's a
few beers.
lose-lose.
It's a lose-lose. There you go. There you go. It's not almanac, but it's something.
You know,
So
the most amazing thing about Pete the umpire is that how he's overcome blindness.
Overcome? I don't know
Overcome
about
blindness.
that.
He just calls balls and strikes by just a feel in the sound, I guess.
All right. I think I wrap up round 3.
I think you did too.
Cool. Jeff, round 2.
All right. So Marty mentioned our tournaments. Our league and our tournaments started from all of us going to fantasy camps. We've all now mentioned fantasy camps and going. Every once in a while, a celebrity will be one of the players at fantasy camp. There wasn't any celebrities at the fantasy camp I went to and Marty went to, but there had been in a previous year a celebrity at an A's fantasy camp. And he got invited to play some tournaments with us down in Palm Desert. He actually is on the roster. He gets emails all the time, but the Palm Desert one was ones that fit into a schedule, and he showed up. So the second time we played together, I came bearing gifts, including a couple things for myself and for my family to see if he would autograph. And he cordially said, not a problem. So this is my autographed Bill Nye the Science Guy bobblehead.
Bill Nye, he's got his hand raised.
That's right.
He knows us. He knows it.
Bill Nye was a fantasy camper and played a couple of tournaments with us in Palm Desert. So not only did he sign the box, he signed the bobblehead as well.
He's very thorough.
Bill, how many people can say they have an autographed Bill Nye the Science Guy bobblehead? But one of the things about Bill was the first couple years we played in that tournament, it was at a high school. And kids would help, kids from the baseball team and at the school would help facilitate the tournament because the field was off away from the school a little bit. So they were running errands for everybody and tending to things. And they were all super stunned by the sight of Bill Nye. And he took every second he possibly could to spend time with them and talk to them and made their day and signed or took pictures or did whatever was necessary for anybody who wanted it. He was a really super nice guy, and we enjoyed having him around.
Yeah. And part of the fun was listening to the kids themselves.
Yeah.
That's Bill Nye.
Is that Bill Nye? Is that Bill Nye?
It could be.
No,
What would we be doing here? What am I gonna?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give the lead, but I'm gonna have Josie tell the story. Remember when he stopped the game?
Oh, okay.
Tell the story. That's a much better job I do.
Paint a picture. Bill Nye is in right field. I'm playing first base. There's a foul ball down the right field line. Bill goes over, picks it up, throws it back in. We're just about getting set for the next pitch, and all of a sudden we hear from behind us, timeout, timeout, timeout. Bill's calling timeout. We all turn around to see what the problem is, and he goes, I just want everybody to look up and appreciate that cloud.
And he started giving the scientific name for the cloud. And all that. Everybody go, what? What?
All right, that's enough Bill Nye. I will throw it to Marty.
Okay. I just did mine, didn't I? I had Tony Gwynn.
Yes, he
That-
did.
Yeah. So go ahead, Robbie.
Okay.
Go-
I gotta play. Teddy Bear sent me a message about umpire Pete.
Oh, all right.
Hey, Robbie, good luck next time you're up at bat and Pete's behind the plate.
So I do some announcing and walk-up music in Monterey, and Pete is the umpire there at this tournament we play in Monterey. And every time he and the other umpire Mike come out, I play Three Blind Mice. So I do not play in tournaments where Pete is the umpire. I'm no dummy, Brent. They call it smart ass, not dumbass. On to the show. My number 2 is in junior high school. My dad used to coach 8th grade baseball, and I was always the bat boy from about 3 years old on for the team. I learned a lot, like how to keep score from guys, and met a lot of cool and interesting people over the years doing that. But in 1978, pitching for the Philadelphia Phillies was Warren Brewster. Brewster had actually played on my dad's 8th grade baseball team. And at one point in an interview on the old ABC Monday Night Baseball, when they thought they could do for baseball what they did for football, Brewster actually mentioned my dad as why he got into relief pitching, because he could go 2 or 3 or 4 innings and just let it all fly for that long. You didn't have to be a starter, because he used to pitch pretty well and then he would run out. And my dad actually made him a reliever, and he stayed a reliever his whole career. So anyway, we went to a Giants game. Warren sent us tickets one night, and it was the first time I really had gotten to meet him since he had made the pros. So, I had met guys getting autographs, other players and stuff, but it's the first time I ever sat and talked with a pro baseball player for a long time, and it was great. So after that night, we spent a lot of time with him, and I sent a thank you letter, just say, hey, thanks. It really meant a lot to me. I think I was 14 at the time, but still, it meant a lot to me that you spent the time with us and after the game and everything. He sent a letter back and goes, it was great. It was good seeing you again. I remember you hauling the bats around and us trying to catch you before you ran on the field at the wrong time and all of that stuff. And he sent me an autographed ball. Boy, it's hard to see the signatures, but
Yeah.
the entire team signed the ball.
Oh,
So I've got
nice.
Far out.
Mike Schmidt and Steve Carlton are on here, as well as Jose Cardinal and Terry Harmon. So I got that going for me. Johnny Oates and Ray Ripplemeyer was right above Ray Ripplemeyer, the pitching coach, right above Mike Schmidt and Steve Carlton. Something feels really wrong about that. And there must be a shortstop thing, because I can't find the signature, but the biggest signature on the ball is Larry Boa. So Johnny LeMaster ruined my bat and Larry Boa ruined my ball. But I actually, this meant a lot to me, that I really treasure this. It's really cool, and yeah, love it.
That's
Love it to death.
fantastic. Yeah.
Nice.
Very
Yep.
cool. Very cool.
All right, Rob, I think you are bringing up the rear.
Yeah. The resident. That's never good.
Hips don't lie.
Yeah. First, we keep talking about fantasy camp, and it's mostly because we met former pros there, and created friendships out of that. And my first camp, on a dare, I told everybody that I wanted to see third base coach for the Giants, Wendell Kim. I wanted to see him naked in the showers. It was.
There's no reference to that, folks. Sorry.
This is all I can play for that.
So when I said this, the room erupted with laughter.
You
Wendell was
think?
in
No
the back of
doubt.
the room and could not see me, and didn't know who said it. He knew somebody said it, but he didn't know who said it. So one day he comes up to my locker, and I go, "Oh God, I'm in trouble." And he says, "Can you help me find that guy that said that?" He said that it told me his name is Weber. And I said, "Well, yeah, I'll help you." And of course, I didn't wear a uniform with my name on it for 2 days. But Wendell and I became very, very close friends. I knew his family really well, and those of you know that he passed away a little while ago from early onset Alzheimer's. But on the wall here in my office, I've got a full size poster of Wendell coaching third base for the Giants, and he's autographed it to me and said, you know, you're my good friend forever.
Wow.
So that's something I cherish, you know,
Yeah.
to make a
Okay.
relationship out of that the fantasy camp that lasted 20 something years. So very cool.
Nice.
Very
So
cool.
That's great.
all right. I think that is the end of round two. Is that correct, Rob?
I believe you are
That
right.
is
Mhm.
correct.
So what time is that, Rob? What happens now?
Ooh.
It's my least favorite part of the show.
And when the beer ran out, right?
Exactly.
Okay, well these
I think
guys
that brings us to the mic'd up segment.
yeah. Oh, I love my new lead-in music. That's great. While you guys go grab a beer or do a download, I'm going to talk about the Mic'd Up app and some of the other shows. I'm going to try to keep this to 3 minutes before they play me out. You are watching us on the Mic'd Up app, and if you'd like to participate, hit the microphone down at the bottom of the screen, and you can leave us a comment up to 30 seconds. If we like it, we'll play it on the air. That's how it's more fun for us if you participate. You can watch us live at 6 o'clock on Wednesday nights Pacific. The archive shows, all 29 of them, can be viewed on within the app as well, and on our YouTube site, highlights from Lowlifes. Mic'd Up is trying to engage with sports teams, organizations, and associations. And so they have some proof of concept shows like ours to show how the app would work with multiple hosts and multiple guests. There are some other shows on the platform. The Jim Darby Show. Jim is a former executive with Easton Sports and Mizuno. Jim has had a tremendous career and has met quite a few celebrities during his time at Easton, and he's happy to share his stories with us every other week here on the platform. Jim will be doing a show tomorrow night at 4 p.m. Pacific. The topic will be some of the most fun stories, hilarious times that he's had during his career. Jim's also written a couple of books. One is called Bears in the Bigs, about cow bears who made it to the major leagues. All right. Another show is called the Hall of Fame Conversations, which is led by John Rieger and Barry Smith. They are highlighting the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. They had a show earlier today, and I'm sorry I missed it. It was an NFL player, and his name escapes me, who played in the Super Bowl, but was also inducted into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame recently. John is a former PGA pro, teaching pro now, and Barry Smith was a NFL player with the Green Bay Packers. They're both in the Hall of Fame, and they run these shows on an intermittent schedule. They've had Fred Biletnikoff, Wade Boggs, and others on the show. Very fun to watch. The Rick Barry Show, which includes Rick Barry and his sidekick Cyrus, comes on from time to time. Rick is still very much a student of the NBA and college sports. Knows a lot about the Warriors and what's going on there. They have an intermittent show that pops on from time to time. If you're following Rick or Cyrus in the app, you'll see announcements and notifications about the show. Rick has some strong opinions about the sport and where it's going. It's a fun listen, and he will take any calls that come his way. So if you see a post, be sure to leave a comment or question for him. And finally, the other show that is in standard rotation is Yankees Coast to Coast. Rob. Oh, he doesn't have
There you go. All right. I mean,
All right.
how much did you have to pay him off to get the first one? I don't know.
Our friends Mike Miller and Adam Schneider are Yankees Coast to Coast. Mike's on the West Coast, Adam's on the East Coast. They have a show every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific. The topics range from what's going on with the Yankees to what's going on in baseball and what's going on at the Yankees fantasy camp. Both Mike and Adam went to camp, and a lot of the guests they have on the show are also from the camp. The topics vary. I think this week they're checking in with the fans to see if they think the Yankees offseason moves were enough to get them to the playoffs this year. So,
No.
The answer is no.
So those are the main shows in rotation, or other shows from time to time. If you get the app installed on your Android or Apple device, you can see what's coming up. All right.
Thanks, Rob.
You got it. Let's move on to round one. This is your top 5 sports memorabilia items in your collection. Number 1, Robbie, what do you got?
All right, my number 1. From the very first Giants game I remember going to, my grandparents were huge Giants fans, my mom's parents, and legend has it in our family that my first words were Jesus Alou. So I the first game I can remember going to, and it's, you always hear the experience. They open the doors, you see the big green field and Candlestick. Remember, they had those big heavy doors, and you really did. Those doors opened. It looked like this big old industrial complex until those doors opened and you went in and you saw that lush green field and everything. And so this would be probably 1967, I'm guessing, maybe 68. My grandparents bought me this statue of Willie Mays,
Nice.
the Heartland statue collection, and I've
Very nice.
this is special. This is the first thing I ever got at a game, the first sports anything that I've ever had. So I love this. This was a great series of statues, and always in my mind, I've always wanted to get all of the players from this series, but they're going for $3,000 and $4,000 a piece, so that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, they just
So-
don't make those types of giveaways and selling things anymore. They just
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I love this. This is a great piece, and it's always on display somewhere in my house. So despite Yvonne trying to hide it, actually she loves this too. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. She loves it and she knows what it means to me. So this is
Yes.
Where's
yeah.
Waldo in the Lannerman house?
Yeah, pretty much. Where's Willie? So yeah, that's a special piece for me. Yeah, shut up, Ted. All right, you go next, Jonesy.
All right.
I see you have your hand up.
All right. A little sentimental as well, but for slightly different reasons. This was something my father gave me. And this is something that I've talked to you guys about a lot, and the audience will get to hear this one as well. My dad was U.S. Navy. Joined when he was 18. It was either, move out of the house and get a job or go join the military. Military was it. So he joined at 18. A couple years later, he was in Japan. And I can tell you the date exactly, April 9th, 1953,
Wow.
he got a day pass. This is an armed forces day pass, saying that he is authorized to leave the base in Japan to go do the activity that he wanted to do. Just so happened to be that an American all-star team was touring Japan and was playing that day in Japan. So he went to the game, and got to meet a couple of people, but he got 4 autographs on the back of that card. And that is Hank Sauer, Mike Garcia,
Mm.
Nellie Fox,
Wow.
Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
and Robin Roberts, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
2
Yeah.
Hall of Famers and 2 managers. Wow.
They weren't managers at the time.
No,
Right.
but
No,
I mean,
yeah.
those are good players.
Yeah,
Mike Garcia was no slouch as a pitcher.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
That's amazing.
that is my number one, and that I've kept that for a very, very long time.
That's amazing.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Rob Weber.
All right. Hey, Jeff, I got an invitation to see the final game played at Candlestick Park in 1999.
Wow.
I went with Hobie Landreth. He was my host for the day.
Hobie, if you don't know, was a catcher with the original San Francisco Giants team.
That's right. That's right. So Hobie takes me up to the main booth that he's been assigned to for the day to sit with all the other Giants dignitaries. And I sat down next to Hank Sauer,
Nice.
who must have been 95 years old.
But looked the same.
Yeah. Hank signed my ticket stub, so I've got a
cool.
Hank Sauer ticket stub. The marker didn't work, so it looks pretty ugly, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, I have a unique item. My father, at the age of 54, he was told, you need to move back to Chicago with United Airlines, or you need to retire early. So he quit. And soon thereafter, my parents made plans to move out of their house here in the Bay Area and move to Hawaii. And they did in 1988, and lived there for 30 years before my dad passed away. My dad was an avid golfer. I don't think any of you guys met him, but some of the others in the gang have met him multiple times. And he played almost every day. In 1994, August 9th, 1994, my dad got a hole-in-one.
Yay.
His first hole-in-one at age 67.
Wow.
Cool.
He was
So there's hope
excited.
for, well, not Marty, but for the rest of us.
Oh, jeez.
Speak for yourself. I have one.
The windmill hole does not count.
So dad was so excited about this event that many people never get to celebrate in their life.
Sure.
And he mailed in verification to Golf Digest and to the National Hole-in-One Association. Didn't know it existed. And he got a certificate, and he proudly mounted it, the certificate, in their home, and it was just great. He talked about it all the time. All right, guys, fast forward 2 years to 1996. October 9th, 1996. Dad gets a hole-in-one on the same hole.
Nice.
Okay? December 1st, 1996. Dad gets a hole-in-one on the same course, but a different hole.
Oh.
This is 6 weeks later.
Okay.
He's getting better.
I'm sorry, I did these out of order. November 25th, 1996, he got a hole-in-one. And December 1st, 1996, he got a hole-in-one.
Wow.
He got 3 hole-in-ones in the space of 8 weeks.
Wow.
And he never had one again.
There you go.
In 2018. So
Wow.
4 hole-in-ones, 3 of them on the same hole.
Wow.
I've got the certificates right here. So. All right, Marty, wrap us up.
It's funny how this is going to come down. Because again, at three, it's about fathers. And this baseball was with my father on his nightstand till the day he passed away. And this is a very special baseball because it was signed by Pat Macias, Terry Lee, Gamer, the Hensleys, Dave Hall, and Jeff Jones.
All guys we play ball with.
Exactly. All our bunch.
And friends.
I relocated from where these guys live in the Bay Area to Las Vegas to take care of my father. And one day, years later, there was a tournament in Las Vegas, and these guys came down. And I had a chance to take Dad to one of the games. He was in a wheelchair then. And earlier that day or later that day, Jeff and a few other people joined my dad for lunch. I took Dad to the game, and I'm not sure who had the idea. Maybe it may even have been Jeff. I'm not sure.
I think it might have been Pat, actually.
Pat Macias says,
I
"Let's
think
get a
so.
ball for your dad," and they signed the ball. And it's just a bunch of us playing in a baseball tournament. That meant so much to my dad. That for the few years he was around, and then he was in a facility, and then he moved to Spokane under the care of my sister, who was phenomenal. And till the day he died, this was on his nightstand, and my sister gave it back to me. And it's just a silly baseball, but the memories of Dad, the memories of the guys on the screen, and the memories of the guys that I played ball with.
Yeah.
Mean the world.
Yeah.
And I hate to end this on a melancholy note, but thank you, and God bless each and every one of you. So this
Got
is the
it.
most important thing I have. Thank you. Thanks.
Good wrap up.
Yeah.
When we started this show, I kind of was concerned that we wouldn't have enough to talk about, and this is now one of our longest shows ever.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten to the comments yet. Hey,
Yeah.
Robbie or Jeff, can you play in some of the comments?
Jeff, why don't you take it?
Okay.
I just don't want to reach that far. Knock
I'm
over my beer.
gonna start from the bottom. You know what? I see a couple. Since Marty ended that, I'm gonna start with a Marty connection.
Oh.
My top 5 sports memorabilia. Number 5,
What'd you do?
I did nothing.
Oh.
Let's see if it'll play again. Yeah, it's
my top 5
Okay.
sports memorabilia. Number 5,
yeah, the recording just cuts out.
There is another one from her with the number 1 in there, I see.
Yes.
Okay.
and number 1, my Seattle Pilots bobblehead doll.
If you are still listening, send us 5 through 2, please.
Yes. Sorry,
Because if you've
Lynn.
got a Seattle Pilots bobblehead as your number 1, there is some awesome shit between.
So, Lynn, if you're still listening, the something happened to the recording and it got cut out, so we only heard the pilot. So, leave another message. Let's see what else we got. We've mentioned him a couple of times this show, Big Juicy. Come on.
Starting off with my baseball memorabilia would be a baseball signed by Tony Gwynn. And then I've got another baseball signed by Felipe Alou.
Oh, cool.
Next would be a pin commemorating Matt Cain's perfect game.
Ah.
And my top sports baseball, that is memorabilia, would be a signed baseball by the 1965 Dodgers, the World Series winning team. My dad went to the game. He couldn't bring me because he was taking clients, but he came back with the baseball.
Hey, You know,
Hey, you know what Jack Clark has to say about
Jack
that?
and I are on the same page about this, Dave. What do you think, Dave?
Big day.
All right. We're going to try to play this, but it's got yellow flagged. So what'd you
Oh,
say,
no.
Big Juicy?
Dirty words.
Next up, hockey memorabilia. Of course, that would be the Sharks. So I've got a couple of pucks here that are near and dear to me. First one is 2016 commemorative puck, Stanley Cup Finals, Sharks versus Penguins. Farthest the Sharks have ever gotten towards the Stanley Cup. A few years later, 2019, a commemorative puck, easy to say after quite a few beers. First round playoffs.
That's my line.
The Golden Knights eliminated the Golden Knights in Game 7.
So, Rob, I think we need to talk to the mic'd up people. If this is a sports app and they're going to flag the word puck, we need to work on that one.
You cannot say any words like puck on the air.
And again from Big Juicy.
And lastly, as far as my hockey memorabilia, would be a Patty Marleau signed "This is Sharks Territory," one of those little mini posters that the Sharks gave out a few years back. And wherever you traveled, you took this with you and took a selfie with it. There were photos, people as far away as Antarctica. I didn't get that far, but I did pick one up and had them sign it after a game at the Shark Tank one year.
Very nice. Very nice.
Cool.
Yeah, no kidding. And we all pretty much went baseball, so it's nice to have
some hockey.
Yeah, mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Former co-host of the show, J.C. Penney here.
Former.
Previous. How about previous?
Yeah, previous, yeah. Recurring character.
Casey here. Most of my memorabilia comes from Giants Fantasy Camp, including number 5, a John Taylor, number 82, signed baseball. He was on my team one year. What an athlete. Number 4, a Mike Sadek, the Sheik, signed and personalized baseball, a prized possession. Check out Facebook, Remembering the Sheik. There's some great pictures on that. Number 3.
Coming up.
JC back with number 3 through number 1. Number 3 is a special picture of catchers. Myself, Bob Brenly, Tom Haller, Mike Sadek, Hobie Landreth, and Terry Kennedy.
Wow.
What a great prize. Number 2, a baseball signed by Hobie, Mike McCormick, Ed Bailey, Vida Blue, and Mike Sadek. Number 1, follow.
Oh, here, he sent one to me directly that I want to play.
The other day, I was so desperate for a beer, I snuck into the football stadium and ate the dirt under the bleachers.
That doesn't sound like JC.
I think he was driving. He was on speaker.
And he comes back to number 1.
JC with number 1, my most prized possession, a Willie Mack signed last at bat photo and a McCovey signed baseball that I got at Fantasy Camp just this last year. Great memories of Willie Mack and the Willie Mack Award.
Yeah.
Good call.
Good call.
Cheers. Yeah.
And
So anybody that's not a Giants fan, the Willie McCovey Award is an award that's given every year for the guy that it doesn't have to be the best player. It's the guy that contributes the most to the team, and it's voted on by the players. So it's actually quite a coveted award among Giants players.
Yep.
What you drinking?
One
An
track
almanac,
mind.
Dreams in the Witch House, a West Coast IPA.
Ooh.
Really a pretty good beer. And goes down quite smooth for West Coast IPA.
All right.
Wow. We got to find a better connection. Damn.
I got to get some of that to all of you guys except Rob.
Really running low on the sour.
I think there's a new coffee stout with toffee and pecan coming out real soon.
Yeah, thank you.
ooh.
That's great. Yeah. Is that it,
And
Jeff?
and no, of course we have our favorite contributor, Vonnie. She's got one for each of her top 5.
Ooh,
Oh,
yikes.
oh, wow.
So my list tonight is number 5. One of my favorites is the very first time Robbie ever played at Pac Bell Park,
Oh, Pac-Man Park.
and I got a photo of him playing with his name on the scoreboard in the background. That's my number 5, and that's one of my treasures.
Yeah, it wouldn't be mine.
No, it's pretty impressive. I have it over our bed.
And his performance hasn't been the same since.
No.
Now batting.
So you're saying that you and this Bonnie, you're in a relationship? Is that what's
Well, I said it was over my bed.
Oh,
Shit.
My number 4 is I had made a personal bobblehead of Rob in his Giants uniform, and it's awesome. So that's my number 4, and I'll do the other ones coming up.
That's the one where he's got a big head.
Yep,
yes.
absolutely.
It's so realistic.
I have a glove on one hand and a beer in the other.
Here we go, number 3.
My number 3 is last year, Rob and the girls were able to go to a Giants giveaway day with the Kruko and Kuiper tiki mugs. And when they went, they were only, all 4 of them were only able to get, I think it was the Kruko mug. So Rob knew I wouldn't let him come home until I got both, and he traded into for the.
I had to trade. This lady standing there. She goes, "Crap, we all got Kuipers," and I'm like, "I think we can figure this out."
I got a guy.
I was panicking though when we went through the turnstile and we all got Krukos, and I was like, "Oh crap, Yvonne's gonna kill me." I got to get one of each at least.
Here's number 2.
Number 2 of one of my treasures is Rich Aurelia, number 35 for the Giants. Has always been my favorite player on the team. And I was able to get a signed Rich Aurelia baseball and a signed photo of him. And it's one of my treasures. So that's number 2.
And I can say Rich Aurelia grabbed my ass at fantasy camp.
Woo!
Oh, great.
Yes. There's a picture of it happening.
And number 1.
So Rob and I have so much Giants memorabilia together, going way back and to current. But my absolute number 1 Giants memorabilia is Rob's very first time at the fantasy camp. And when he was done, he had all the pros sign his uniform. And I took it and I put it in a shadow box with pictures, and it's.
Oh.
I think she was going to say it's glorious.
And that's over her bed.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? And hats off to Vonnie, who has bronchitis and battled through those.
Oh.
Before we still got a couple comments. We still got Teddy Bear to go with his list, but JC piped one more in here.
The coffee stout is double secret probation.
Yes, it is.
From Almanac.
The Animal House Stout.
Yes. And finally, we get Teddy Bear's top 5.
Good knowledge, JC.
Another previous host.
Hey, Teddy Bear here. Number 5 for me doesn't look anything like a Fourth souvenir, it's a scorpion bowl from Polynesian Heritage Night. I get a lot of different questions about that. Number 4, from Bat Day at Candlestick Park, a Willie McCovey baseball bat. Number 3 is signed baseball by 4 Cy Young Award winners. That would be Vida Blue, Mike McCormick, Mark Davis, and Barry Zito.
Dang, nice.
Nah, not
Nice.
bad.
Wow, that's great.
And his finale.
My number 2 is a Mike McCormick signed baseball. And my number 1, we can't get these anymore. We used to give them away to our Babe Ruth kids. It's a Vida Blue signed baseball.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff out there.
Yeah, I just want to throw out an honorable mention. Thank you, Terry Lee, for our visit to the Bobblehead Museum and the Abbott and Costello, who's on first.
Yes.
Bobblehead. Thank you very much. It's an honorable mention. Thanks, Terry.
All right, folks. We ran late tonight.
Yes.
We got to get off the air before the show just ends.
We don't
without
have
us
time for
getting-
honorable mentions. Oh,
No, we don't.
damn it.
Oh, we'd be here all
I have a
night.
Barry Larkin glove he threw at me at Candlestick.
I got
We'll have another show about just that glove.
a Matt Game perfect game plaque.
Oh,
A JT Snow.
I feel like we have to go on a tour of this guy's living room now.
Yes.
All right, folks. That's enough for this evening. Robbie, play us out. We'll see you next Wednesday at 6 o'clock with a new topic.
And I am going to
Thank
show
you.
one in here while I play us out. This is, I had to do a lot of magic, and I'm not going to say how, but the team
Oh.
issued Vida patches. Vida and I became good friends, and when he passed last year, the team wore these patches, and I was able to secure one. So,
Nice.
yeah.
There you go.
Miss you every day, brother.
From Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
See you next week.
Take care.